Merry Christmas, vinyl community. It's so great to see everyone. Kind of, sort of. I mean, I think you're in there somewhere. I'm over here. But, and happy Christmas Eve, everyone. This video brings me much joy to bring you, as I've been talking about this video for at least 3 years. And the title kind of gives it away. But I should preface this by saying that not everyone may have heard me talk about this, or there might be some new viewers. And if you're a new viewer, Merry Christmas. This is a box full of my favorite singles of all time. I should say though, but not that this video has been hotly anticipated by anyone out there. This is more like a video that once it's on YouTube, it's there forever. And it's a moment in time. Once I'm gone from this earth, friends, family, whoever will be able to see this video and maybe get a better understanding of who I am, possibly. Maybe I'm putting too much stock into what this is, but music being kind of everything in my life, more or less, it's very important to me. I should say, in this box, like I said, I've accumulated my favorite singles of all time. Every single has a special meaning. It brings me back to a certain time in life, a signpost, if you will. It may not be my favorite song by that artist, but this particular song is the one that has a memory attached to it. So every time I pull out a big mitt full of these singles to look at or to play, I can think of why that's in this box and where that brought me back to. So, like I said, and some things I will say, not everything that I would consider my favorite song has ever been released as a single. So some things in here are what I will say representational. So as much as I want to not make this too long for everyone, because you can always fast forward ahead or blah blah blah. Up to you. It's Christmas. You do, unless you're watching this in July, then fuck that. It's just a box of records. But I don't even know what I was saying now. But like I said, some things are kind of representational because the song I wanted was never released as a single. And so I'll quickly explain that this is representational of this time. And I promise you I won't have a great story for everything, or maybe not anything. Just whatever. This is going to be a whole stream of consciousness video. So whatever comes to my mind. By the way, I'm getting over COVID, so if I'm all sniffly, that's what it is. It's a COVID world we're living in still, you know that? So, and a lot of these singles fall under the banner. I could say the same thing about it. I remember when I saw this on MTV, it fucking changed my life. It blew my mind. So a lot of these will be of that MTV era and, early 80s. So I'll skip, I might just say MTV or, whatever. So here it is, the big box. I'm going to try, and like I said, just to not go too into depth, although I would love to, because like I said, this is kind of like a moment in time. And we're like 4 minutes in or whatever it is, and I'm still yapping. But you guys know I do this. And it's Christmas. How many more Christmases do we have together? Relatively speaking, not a lot. So, just entertain me. And by the way, in the comment section, I appreciate all comments. I do read them all. But if there shouldn't be anything like, I'm going to ask nicely, oh man, you should have had this song by this artist, whatever. Because like I said, this might not be my favorite song by the artist, but that song has a memory. So it's not a contest of I should have had this and I got deaf ears and I don't know what a good song is and what a better song might be from this artist. Cheers, everyone. It's Christmas. Okay, let's get to it. I've been thinking for 3 years how to do this video, and I could never get wrap my head around how to do this properly. So I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to show it to you, and whatever happens, happens. And the first single is this is in alphabetical order, kind of. Is The Alarm, and the song "The Stand." I wish I was closer to the camera. Maybe I'll scooch a bit closer. The Alarm. I think they're from Wales, aren't they? But this is, I think, this is the, I don't want to lie and say it's their first single. I think it might have been their first single in North America. But The Stand. And some of these you're going to, by the way, I will say, some of these you're going to think, what the like, why is that in here? But trust me, it has a memory. And if there's a song in the comment section where you want to say, tell me the story behind this single, I can type that out for you. I can do that for you, the viewer. Adam Ant, Room at the Top. I have a sister who has passed away a few years ago. Of breast cancer, very young. And growing up, she had her music that she liked, and I had my music, which is like, kind of punk and metal and that. And we're talking like, young teenagers. And she liked all this other stuff that I would never admit that I liked until later on in life, where I couldn't give a shit. And I realized that all the records my sister had, I've since acquired them. And I did tell her that before she passed away. That was nice. But this was one of them. She actually had this on cassette single, and I stole this from her. But I loved this song. She'd play it, and I'd be like, I like early Adam Ant, because this was kind of like one of the later ones from his album. Was this from Manners and Physique? I think it is. But Room at the Top. Memories of my late sister. Wherever you are this Christmas Eve, I love you. And I wish I wasn't telling the story about her. But that's why Adam Ant is in there. This is a band in North America. They had to change their name. But in Australia, they were just called The Models. But in North America, and maybe England as well, I'm not sure, they were called the Australian Models, because there was another Models, oddly enough, from my very city. So they had to change their name. This is a song called Out of Sight, Out of Mind. And I have memories of being freshly out of high school, and my friend Jason got us a job working on the oil rigs, which is kind of a big thing here in Western Canada. But it wasn't like working the derricks or anything. It was painting well sites and stuff like that. But I was living on my own in this motel and doing this job with all these people, except for my friend Jason, who I just couldn't relate to. We call them rig pigs. So, but my friend Jason wasn't one of those. But anyways, I had one of the few tapes I brought with me, and it was just out of town. This is about 3 hours out of town. So I was just lonely, and I didn't have anyone to talk to, because my friend hung out with all the other people, and a lot of times. But and I had this tape, and this one song in particular, "Out of Sight, Out of Mind," which I saw on MTV, was kept me great company. So that's what that. And I better shut up, because this is gonna go on for 5 hours. Some of these bands have 2 singles because there's 2 memories attached to it. But this is a promo single for Aha, "The Sun Always Shines on TV." And you can tell what era I grew up in. It's the early 80s, mid 80s. "Sun Always Shines on TV," which I think was the 2nd or 3rd single from their debut album. To this day, I love this song. To this very day. And then Aha, Crying in the Rain, which I've made it be known to my family and everyone that at my funeral, whenever that happens, isn't this going to be a dark Christmas Eve video talking about death all the time? But when I croak, this is one of the songs I want played at my funeral, is their version of the Everly Brothers' Crying in the Rain. So, Anthrax, Indians, one of the greatest thrash songs of all time. Just fantastic. I don't know what I can say about this. This is, like I said, one of those songs that, a lot of these songs, I always kind of tell people, it's like I was going this way in life musically, and I heard a song, and then it made me take a turn this way, which discovered a whole other bunch of music. And I was never a music snob, so these things are all over the place for genre. But Anthrax, Indians, what is this one? This one is orange vinyl, UK orange vinyl. So, Tori Amos, Cornflake Girl. I was really happy when I found this in London a couple years ago, because I've never seen this single before, and I knew I had talked about this box for, like I said, 3 years, and I knew this was going in this box at some point whenever I found it, and then I found it in London. It was almost fate. I found this at Sister Ray Records in London. I know that, because I remember that. But Tori Amos, Cornflake Girl. I'm a big fan of Duran Duran. It's a kind of a carryover from when I was young. But they had a side project, 2 of them actually. They had the Power Station, which you'll see later, and then they had Arcadia, which was Simon Le Bon, Nick Rhodes, and Roger Taylor from Duran Duran, and they released an album called So Red the Rose, which is one of my favorite albums to this day. But this is one of the singles off that record called The Promise. I think this might have been the 3rd single off that record. There was Election Day and Goodbyes Forever, and then The Promise. So if you haven't heard that album, it's such a great album. So pretentious, but so great. ABC, The Look of Love. I would say, of all the albums I own, if you were to tally up how many times I've listened to a certain album the most, I would think it would be this first album by ABC, The Lexicon of Love. And this is the song The Look of Love from that album. How's that slick for covering, taking a gulp? Yeah, ABC. And then also this was the song I heard on the radio, on Top 40 radio, when you used to press record and tape your favorite song. Make sure you didn't get any of that DJ voice for the lead in, and when they came back into the song, get to just be so precise. I remember trying to capture this song off the radio, off AM radio at the time, 1982. All of My Heart. This was the song that got me into new wave, and this was the song, even though it's a ballad, but this was what led me down that road for kind of like, they're not new wave per se, but they are. You guys know. All of My Heart. Bad News. This is Cashing In on Christmas. I was going to say Christmas with the Devil, but that's Spinal Tap. The Young Ones, the British TV show, The Young Ones, is possibly my favorite TV series of all time. And this was an offshoot of The Young Ones, Bad News, if you don't know that. Rick Mayall is in here, who's died. And a few other guys from The Young Ones. Ade Edmondson and Nigel Planer. But this is their Christmas single. And that first they only have one album they put out, but they have a DVD of Bad News. I suggest you seek that out. It's fantastic. Billy Bragg, Levi Stubbs' Tears. Just flat out one of the greatest singles I've ever heard in my life, and poignant. And the lyrics are just very. I mean, Billy Bragg has a way with lyrics that I think is very underrated. But Levi Stubbs' Tears is my favorite of all the ones he's done. Blondie, Rapture. I don't think there's any explanation involved in that. Blondie, everyone loved Blondie back then. And the single for Picture This. So I'm trying to cut out the glare here. You can see that one. Picture This, I think, is the most underrated song in the Blondie catalog. It's just Debbie Harry singing like you've never. I mean, it's everything in her whole fucking soul is coming out in these lyrics. If you listen to the end of it, Pat Benatar, "Sex is a Weapon." It's from an album that she hates, and I love. But I'll skip stories, but I can't tell stories about everything. Bauhaus, "She's in Parties." This is a UK copy of "She's in Parties." This is one of those songs that, that you had that fork in the road, and instead of going down that road, I went down this road, which was the kind of gothy alternative British scene, which I still love to this day. But this was the single that kind of led me down there. Bauhaus, "She's in Parties." David Bowie, really quickly, DJ. I don't need to talk about Bowie. You guys know about Bowie. It's Bowie. But the song DJ, I think this was the song that got me into Bowie. And I'm just realizing I'm going to have to put all these singles back in this box when I'm done. David Bowie, "Space Oddity." And David Bowie, TVC 15. Maybe not the songs you would think, but like I said, all these songs have a memory to Dave. So, TVC 15. This was because of his appearance on Saturday Night Live with Klaus Nomi on backing vocals. That performance just fucking blew my mind. Some of these I'm not even going to explain what they are. You guys, I hope some people would maybe jot some of these down and investigate them. But Beats International, "Dub Be Good to Me," which is what's his nuts? Norman Cook, Fatboy Slim. This was his second band he was in after, what was he in? Was he in the House Martins? One of those bands like that. Anyways, Beats International, "Dub Be Good to Me." This is that beautiful pack that came out for the Magical Mystery Tour. It's, I'm sure you guys have seen this, maybe. It's rare, but not that rare, where you may not have seen it. But it came out for the release of the Magical Mystery Tour movie, and it's got a booklet inside, and it's got, I think, 2 singles in it? Yeah, but this is in the box because of "I Am the Walrus," which is on here. So this has Magical Mystery Tour, Your Mother Should Know, I Am the Walrus, The Fool on the Hill, Flying in Boojay Way, which was written by George Harrison. But that Magical Mystery Tour pack, this is the original copy from 1960, whatever the hell it was. But I Am the Walrus. Another song that just blew my mind. And of course, another Beatles. This is a double A-side with Revolution. Look at this nice little... The Beatles on Apple Records. You don't see this sleeve very often. But this has Revolution, and the other side is Hey Jude. Or Hey Jude, and the other side is Revolution. Which I think that's the order, but it's a double A-side, so whatever. Black Sabbath, Die Young. The Ronnie James Dio fronted Black Sabbath. Of all the Ozzy and Dio stuff, this is my favorite Black Sabbath song. Die Young, from the album Heaven and Hell. Black Flag, Nervous Breakdown. This very single you see here, I bought when I was very young. And I bought it blindly from a store that always brought in the latest imports. On a Saturday morning, I would take a 2-hour bus ride down to the store on another part of the city. And This has Nervous Breakdown, and side 2 is Fix Me, I've Had It, and Wasted. Another one of those songs that, or singles that just, it changed my life. Beastie Boys, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party. And the B-side is Paul Revere. Two excellent singles, but I think when the Beastie Boys performed this song on some award shows and TV, I think everyone wanted to be the Beastie Boys for 5 minutes. We'd walk down the street pretending we were. And then the Beastie Boys, She's On It. This is a really nice promo copy. If you can see that. It's a Def Jam promo, one-sided, or it's a double A side. Yeah, it's the white label promo for She's On It. Same song, both sides. Dave Brubeck Quartet, Take 5. And the B-side of this is Blue Ronda a la Turk, which was the two big songs off of Dave Brubeck's insane album of the same name. I was going to tell a story behind that, but you know what? I'm having a brain fart right now. How to phrase that story? But Berlin, the Metro. There's Terry Nunn. Maybe some of these singles you've never seen before, but maybe I'll take these out sometimes. But Terry Nunn fronted Berlin, one of my favorite 80s bands, and this is the Metro, which was the song that kind of got me into them, and once again another song that got me into a lot of different 80s music. Bad Religion, Atomic Garden. This is the song off the album Generator, and that album and this very single you see here very much kind of changed the course of my life in 1991, for sure. When I say change my life, the way I was listening to music and what I was listening to and what I thought of music, and it made me appreciate intelligent punk rock with intelligent lyrics. Blue Oyster Cult, Astronomy. By the way, I may have to take a pause at some point, and I'll come back. I promise you I will. Or not. Rolling on B. So maybe I'll cut this up into different parts. Blue Oyster Cult, Astronomy, from their album Imaginos. Once again, one of my favorite albums of all time. This is an original pressing of Big Star. And it's a promo radio copy of Oh My Soul on Ardent Records. Same song, both sides. I think, is one stereo, one mono for radio play? I think they're both mono, actually. As AM stereo was mono, as a lot of people know. So a lot of the singles were released in mono for AM radio. And this is, from 1974, an original copy of Big Star, Oh My Soul. And original Big Star singles are rare as rare. Rocky Burnett. Oh, fuck. I could tell a big long story about this one, but I won't. Rocky Burnett, Tired of Towing the Line. Fucking pretty obscure shit here. Well, not really that obscure if you're of my age. This was the very single and very song. This and another single you'll see that got me into music. I listen to this album now, this single now, and it's hard to listen to this song with to look at them with fresh ears and fresh eyes, because it's not the greatest song in retrospect. But to a 10-year-old boy, it was like the coolest song I ever heard at the time. The Cure, Boys Don't Cry. The Cure, Hot, 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 from their album Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. A great, great double album. Concrete Blonde, God is a Bullet. Concrete Blonde, I think, is one of the most underrated bands ever, apart from that album that everyone loves, Bloodletting. But this is on the album before that. And this is God is a Bullet. And one of the greatest set of lyrics Jeanette Napoleano, was it? Yeah, Napoleano. I think she wrote a great set of lyrics for this one. God is a bullet. Oh my God. Some of these are embarrassing, but I'm too old to be embarrassed. I don't care what you think of me. Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight. You can think what you want of Phil Collins, but my God, was this one of the greatest singles of all time. Collective Soul, Precious Declaration. I've had the pleasure of meeting them when I was owning and managing record stores. Warner Music were nice enough to, every time they came to town, they would get me backstage, and they would remember me every time. They'd say, "Oh, you wore that wild leopard skin jacket last time we met." And it's like, yeah, I did. How do you remember that? But good Atlanta boys, I believe they're from Atlanta, Georgia. But they knew how to make you love their band, The Precious Declaration. The Cult, Rain. This very song too, another one that kind of... And She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult. This might have to be 2 videos. I might do 1 row and then come back at you maybe quick New Year's Eve with the 2nd row. How's that for thinking on the fly? This is a band called the Coliseum, and they have an album on Vertigo. It was my first Vertical Swirl album I ever found, called Valentine Suite. And they were kind of like a jazzy prog band, but they had one song on that record. What is it, 1960 something or other, I believe, or 70. But anyways, they had one song that was a flat out rocker, and it was called The Kettle. And this is a promo copy that I lusted after for the longest time. And a lot of people don't know, who like Coliseum, don't know that The Kettle was actually released as a promo single to radio. So, I could go on forever about what Crowded House means to me and Split Ends. I'll save you that story, but suffice to say that 4 Seasons in One Day by Crowded House and The World Where You Live. This was the song that got me into the band, and I've had this love relationship with Crowded House ever since. The Cars, Strap Me In. This was from their album Door to Door, that a lot of people online like to pontificate is their worst record and it's garbage. It's not, actually. It's one of their best records, Door to Door. It's the one after Heartbeat City. And I think the band produced it themselves, or Rick Ocasek produced it. And it was more like a stripped down rock album. But their song Strap Me In. This is another radio station promo copy. And the B-side's Door to Door. 2 fantastic songs from that record. And then what else we got here? Oh, The Cars promo single for Just What I Needed. And The Cars, My Best Friend's Girl. But the B-side of this is Moving in Stereo, which I could talk about Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but I won't. You guys will know what I would say about that. Alice Cooper, Teenage Frankenstein. And Alice Cooper, Freedom. This was when Alice made his comeback. His album Constrictor and Raise Your Fist and Yell. 2 albums in the 80s when he came back with more of a kind of a metal sound. A lot of people kind of shit on those albums. But if you're of my age, this is kind of what got you into Alice Cooper, were those albums. As they were new at the time. And you probably never heard of Alice Cooper when you were 12, 13, maybe. This is pre-internet. Everyone. So remember, information was not as, easy to come by. So Alice Cooper started probably for me with those songs. The Clash, London Calling. And The Clash, Rock the Casbah. Canada's own The Diodes, Tired of Waking Up Tired. The Diodes are one of my top 5 favorite Canadian bands of all time. If you haven't heard The Diodes, listen to The Diodes. Awesome. And another song by The Diodes, Child Star. If I was smart, I'd be putting these back like this, you know, so I wouldn't have a big mess. This is going to be a long one, but I will stop halfway through, I promise. Bob Dylan, Subterranean Homesick Blues. It was the video for this that got me into Bob Dylan. For some reason, they'd play this on regular music video channels. I don't know why. Because it's awesome, probably. Duran Duran, Planet Earth. Duran Duran, Girls on Film. A lot of these singles, I would say about 80% of these singles, if not more, are my original copies from when I was a kid. So I'm amazed at how well I took care of a lot of these songs. But there's about maybe 20% that were songs I had to lust after and find eventually, and that came later on in life. But anyways, Duran Duran, Girls on Film. Depeche Mode, from their album 101. This is the live version of Everything Counts. And Depeche Mode, World in My Eyes. And this is the very, very, very single that got me into Depeche Mode in high school. I found this for $2.59 from a store called Woco department store. Is Strangelove. Look at the original price tag, $2.49 that David paid for that damn thing. A song from the late 50s, I believe. Johnny Burnett, Honey Hush, which Paul McCartney covered, and that's what led me to discover this song and the original version of Honey Hush by Johnny Burnett. And the B-side, the Train Kept a Rolling. So Paul McCartney did a covers record, and he covered this song, which made me work my way backwards. And I absolutely adore this song by Johnny Burnett Trio. Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers. And Deep Purple, Knocking at Your Back Door. The album Perfect Strangers was a big album for me in 1985, I think it was. 84, 85. The album Perfect Strangers was a very big record for me. I'd never heard... I don't even think I heard Smoke on the Water at that point. Maybe I had on the radio. But Deep Purple, the two big songs off of Perfect Strangers. Canadian punk band DOA, World War III. DOA, I've seen them a million times live. I had the pleasure of booking them at venues that I've booked at. They did an in-store at one of my record stores that I managed at the time, or owned. I actually owned that store. Yeah, so DOA, World War III. Def Leppard, the song, this is Wasted. This is, from their first record, isn't it? And then it's backed with, Hello America. I think Hello America is the actual A-side, isn't it? Yeah. No, Wasted is. But Wasted is the song that kind of got me into Def Leppard. And then Bring It On the Heartbreak. But the B-side is why this is in this box, is a song called Me and My Wine, which I love the video for. Dead Kennedys, California Uber Alice. I could have picked a few different Dead Kennedy songs, but Dio, We Rock. Fantastic song. I'm going to speed this along a bit. I hope you guys are having a good time, enjoying this, and I hope maybe, you might investigate some of these songs. That would make me very happy. I can see this song is... Oh, no, I've done this already. Sorry. Where am I at? I'm at D. What the fuck am I grabbing that for? Sorry, everyone. Last thing we want to do is go backwards. Well, it's going to be enough of me blabbing already. The Damned, in my top 3 favorite bands of all time. I get a lot of flack. People think I say a lot about things. I have a lot of favorite records of all time and favorite bands, but when I truly say something's in my top 5, it really is. It sounds like I say that. It sounds like I say that a lot, but the Damned are. This is the single for Smash It Up, Love Song. It came in 4 different covers, 1 for each member. This is the Captain Sensible version. The Damned, Neat, Neat, Neat. And this is the single for Smash It Up by The Damned. 3 singles I could not live without. Steve Earle, Back to the Wall. This was the second single off of Copperhead Road. But I loved Copperhead Road. It had that crossover appeal, that record. But the second single was Back to the Wall. And it was a flat-out rocker. And it kind of slowly led me down that road of kind of country with attitude, if you will. Europe's Rock the Night. Kind of an obscure band. Maybe if you're from Europe, or if you are you have a wide range of music knowledge or love. This is kind of one of those bands that was big with the techno scene. Easy Posse. This is Everything Starts with an E. One of the greatest kind of rave singles. Back when I was going to raves, when they would first have them. Okay, what is next in my box of memories? Memories. EMF, They're Here, from their second album, Stigma. The Fix, Are We Ourselves, but it's the B-side, Deeper and Deeper, that I love. And it's kind of what got me into the Fix. And I love the Fix to this very day. Band called who remembers a band called Fuzzbox? There was kind of 2 iterations of Fuzzbox, I guess, same members, but they had an album called Boston Steve Austin, which was kind of like their stripped down, kind of really off the wall kind of version of that band. Then they got signed to a major label, and then they did this kind of glossed out record. It was very produced and very not like their first record. It was kind of like they gave the girls showers and put makeup on them properly, and they released a glossed record. And the first single off that was called Self. And it's one of those rare situations where I love both sides of that band. But yeah, the album Self from Fuzzbox. One of the greatest kind of, I would say, UK, I hate to say the word new wave, or whatever you want, electronic singles. Electronic, let's call it electronic. Is a guy called John Fox, and it's a single called Underpass. It's one of the greatest kind of like early UK electronic songs, very influential song, Underpass by John Fox. Fantastic. Then we go to something like Focus, Hocus Pocus, which was, the yodeling song. But what a fantastic song it is. Fleetwood Mac. This is a double A side. It's Oh Well, backed with, or whatever you want to call it, double A side. And the Green Manalishi, which is, I found out from Judas Priest, who I knew that song, I knew their version. Then I kind of, worked my way backwards to discover Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. So Oh Well and Green Manalishi with a 2-pronged crown. Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop. Come on, you guys know I love Rumors. Come on. That's no surprise. Faith No More, A Small Victory, from their album Angel Dust. And then from their second record, first with Mike Patton, Falling to Pieces by Faith No More. Flock of Seagulls, I Ran. A song that I friggin' hated when it came out because it was kind of really alien to me at the time. And then this was like early 80s. And then a couple years after it came out, it kind of, once I had a little bit more educated ears, as one would say, I liked the song. So Flock of Seagulls, I Ran. Genesis. This is a promo single for Mama. Fucking one of the greatest, darkest songs of all time, Mama. The Go-Go's. This is a fantastic single, which I paid $8.99 for it at a record store in Canada called A&A. If you're Canadian, you might know A&A Records. But We Got the Beat, backed with Our Lips Are Sealed. Uh, I, their first album, Beauty and the Beat, I would say is a perfect record. That's my opinion. Grandmaster Flash, The Message, like it's a well-told story. A lot of people, this is what kind of got them into rap and then hip-hop, whatever you want to call it. Guns N' Roses, It's So Easy. Easily one of my favorite kind of metal songs of the 80s and early 90s. But backed with Mr. Brownstone. What a fucking single this is. And where are we at? Yeah, we'll have time to finish this one row. And then, you know what, I actually, it's a really good idea that you guys had just now, or I had. I'll do a part 2. And you'll be so bored by this one, no one's going to watch part 2. No one ever watches part 2 videos, by the way. If you make a 2-part video about the same topic, everyone kind of clicks on the first one, see if it's to their liking. And a lot of times it's not. So the first one might do very well. And the second one just fucking Fart Town, USA, just no one watches it. But I'm not doing this for views. I'm doing this for the love of music and sharing this with you. The Georgia Satellites, Keep Your Hands to Yourself. You're not going to be able to see this, but I'm showing it to you. You know, you guys don't need to see the friggin' fine print. What are you, lawyers? Generation X, King Rocker. Billy Idol's band, first band, King Rocker. Golden Earrings, Ce Soir. Another really insanely great dark song from the 70s. I must like dark music. This single, it killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Because it was released for Record Store Day. So I was able to take 2 singles out and make more room for more stuff and just have 1 single because it's Golden Earring Twilight Zone, which would have been in here. And then the song When the Lady Smiles, which would have been in here as well. 2 very, very important songs for me from Golden Earring. And then same as this one. This is the one where the video blew my effing mind. And if you've not seen the video for Golden Earring Quiet Eyes, it's done by Anton Corbijn, who did all the Depeche Mode videos, or most of them. And done a lot of great videos for Echo and the Bunnymen, and he's done movies. But I think this is one of his best videos he's ever done, is Golden Earring Quiet Eyes. Please go watch that video. After you watch this video. The Grid, Texas Cowboys. I wanted to have Swamp Thing in here by The Grid, but I've just never seen that single. I'm not sure. I have the 12-inch, but the 7-inch, this is around that time where 7-inch singles weren't really prevalent in Canada. But Texas Cowboys, it's representational. There you go. I used that word for once. Peter Gabriel, Steam. This is a jukebox copy because the B-side is Games Without Frontiers, which is different than the actual single that came out. But, of course, you want to have 2 hits on that jukebox. So you got Steam and Games Without Frontiers, but the song Steam from the album Us. I think Us is Peter Gabriel's best album. Once again, my opinion. If you disagree, do your own video. And call me out. Don't do that. I'll have a flame war with you if you do. Happy Monday, Step On. I don't know why I saw this before I clicked film on my camera. I got 2 versions of Silver Machine by Hawkwind in here. I should only have 1, but 2 different picture sleeve versions of Hawkwind Silver Machine. And the B-side 7x7. 2 of the greatest Hawkwind songs. Hawkwind, of course, Lemmy's first or second band, I think. Second band? Whatever. It's kind of where you got known. This is one of those off-the-wall ones that doesn't like... What's that song? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same. Is it Sesame Street? The Highwaymen. This was that super group with Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, and Waylon Jennings. And this is the song of the same name as the band Highwaymen. And this is here as a tribute to my dad, who passed away. And my dad got me into a lot of music. He got me into Kiss and Motorhead. And then on the flip side, he got me into stuff like this. This is a tribute to my dad, once again, who's up there probably with my sister, judging me as always. I miss them both. I'm kidding. I love them both and I miss them both. But the song Highwayman was a song my dad loved. And I wouldn't probably admit at the time that I loved it, but I'm going to cry. Not on Christmas Eve. I won't cry on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day is a different story. I'll cry then. Jimi Hendrix, Purple Haze. This is a nice original polygram, Polydor pressing from Canada. Nice one. Hendrix, Purple Haze. Heart, Crazy on You. This is a radio station promo on Mushroom Records. And this is back when they released their album Dreamboat Annie. There must have been some weird thing about how they were trying to get the band known, because a lot of the promo singles from that first record, radio singles, it would be Heart featuring Nancy Wilson. That's what it says here. But this is the radio station promo copy for Crazy on You, mono and stereo, I think. There you go. Dreamboat Annie, another record I would say is a perfect record. Hoodoo Gurus, like Wow, Wipeout. I have a thing for Australian music. I can make many videos about Australian music, how much I love Australian bands. But Hoodoo Guru, like Wow, Wipeout, another song that kind of fucking blew my mind when I first heard it. And a band from Philadelphia called the Hooters. And everyone, whenever I talk about the Hooters, people don't remember them here in Canada. They weren't big here. They were big in the States. Like, we have our own bands that are big here, like the Tragically Hip, that aren't really big in the States, but have pockets of fans. And the Hooters, I was the only, because they were so big on MTV, and I had MTV. And very few people in Canada had MTV. You had to have satellites and all that shit. And so they were an MTV darling band. And I loved the Hooters. And this is their song, And We Danced, which was kind of defined that summer for me when I was young in 1985, I think it was. And from the same album, All You Zombies by the Hooters. Both from their first record, Nervous Night. An album that was, like I said, very important to me when I was young. The Human League, Empire State Human. And the different version of the Human League, once the original lineup split off and half of them went to go do Heaven 17 and Phil Oakey stayed on with Adrian, and they hired two girls, and then they became massive stars with Don't You Want Me. We're almost done, first row. The Hollies, Bus Stop. Yes, I know. That's kind of one of those weird ones, isn't it? But the Hollies, Bus Stop. Am I out of order? I don't want to be out of order now. What are we on? 8. Okay. I think I'm out of order. Oh, well. H-I-J-K. Somehow I missed some F's here. I don't know why. Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. Falco. I'm not embarrassed. I love Falco, but Vienna Calling, that album Falco 3 is fucking great to this day. And then from that same album, a song called Genie, which I believe at one point was the biggest selling single of all time in Germany. And it was banned in a lot of places. But Falco, Genie. In Excess, Listen Like Thieves. I could have picked a lot of NXS songs, but this one in particular, to this day, I still play when I DJ. Great memories. Information Society, one of those bands that I don't know anyone else who likes them. I love them. So a lot of these bands, I'm on a desert island loving them. I can't talk about them to anyone because I don't know anyone who likes them. I like all the Information Society records, but this is their first big single, What's on Your Mind. Joy Division, Love Will Tear Us Apart. This is the original Factory Records pressing that I bought when I was young. Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. What else is in here? I don't know why that's in here. That's a misfile. Judas Priest, You Got Another Thing Coming. And on the B-side is their cover of Joan Baez's Diamonds and Rust. Another incredibly, probably just by mistake, great double. I'm going to call it a double A-side because it's fantastic. But You Got Another Thing Coming was the song a lot of people. Was the gateway drug to getting to Judas Priest. Jane's Addiction, Mountain Song. Still got the rap on this one, which makes it really hard to see. Hang on. I'm going to get rid of this plastic. I don't need no freaking plastic. I'm not sure why I get the rap on that one. Mountain Song by Jane's Addiction. Definitely, I got a story behind this, but we're running long on time. But definitely one of the singles that made me fucking totally abandon what I was listening to and discover this weird off-the-wall music from LA at the time and other cities in the US and UK. But their album, Nothing Shocking, is a very, I don't think I've talked about this, it's a very important record to me in my life. Jane's Addiction, their album, Nothing Shocking. But the song, the Mountain Song, we're almost done. Elton John, I guess that's why I call it the blues. And this was the first, is it the first single? It's one of the first singles I ever bought with my own money. This, and I think it was a Rick Springfield single. That's not in here. There might be. But Elton John, I guess that's why they call it the blues. Michael Jackson, Beat It. No explanation needed there. But Billy Joel, here's the song that goes with Rocky Burnett, Tired of Towing the Line. His album Glass Houses was the first record I ever got as a present. Was Glass Houses. And why my parents bought me that, I'm not sure why, but I must have been singing it off the radio or something. But the album Glass Houses and the song Sometimes a Fantasy was the song that really, with Rocky Burnett, Tired of Towing the Line, that got me into music. Maybe not the greatest song now. Jesus Jones, Info Freako, from their album Liquidizer. Canada's Own The Kings, with, I hope people know this song. If you don't listen to it, go on YouTube. The Kings, Switching to Glide, which is actually two songs put together. This Beat Goes On and Switching to Glide, which I have another copy of this, which is an original test pressing. Greg Kihn, their breakup song. One more drink, and that will finish this row. Hang on. All right, that'll do me. The Lightning Seeds, Change, which was on the Clueless soundtrack, which is how I heard it. But the Lightning Seeds from the UK, Change. I think I'm out of order alphabetically. I am. Yeah, I am. Fuck. I'm not gonna explain why, but the Kiss album, The Elder, and I don't like it ironically because everyone hates it. It's an album that my dad gave me. I remember I was having a bath when I was young, and he opens the door and he tossed this cassette tape to me. And he's, "Hey kid," because I would listen to music in the tub on my Walkman with batteries, so I was no danger. Actually, it would be pretty shitty of my dad if I was listening to something electric and he threw it in there and fucking, Anyways, my dad just came home and threw this cassette tape to me. He goes, "Here you go, listen to Kiss." I knew Kiss before that, but God bless my dad. Kiss, Detroit Rock City, backed with Beth, and then they switched it around. Beth became the A side. The Knack, My Sharona. Unabashedly a massive Knack fan. The KLF, What Time Is Love by the KLF. And a couple more here. I don't know. I do have a story which I'm going to save for one day. Loverboy, Love Will Rise Again, from their last major label record called Notorious. A song that made no noise, didn't do anything, but it has a place in my life. L7, Everglade. Huey Lewis and the News, I Want a New Drug. LL Cool J, Going Back to Cali. From the, what is that? Less Than Zero soundtrack. Yeah. Cyndi Lauper's She Bop. Another song I play DJing religiously. And I would also say, here's a hot take, as the kids would say. She's So Unusual, the album this is off of. Perfect record. Led Zeppelin's The Immigrant Song, which is the song that got me into Zeppelin. Lush, one of the greatest. I wouldn't say they're shoegaze. Some people say they're a shoegaze band. For some people they are. I wouldn't pigeonhole them. Wouldn't pigeonhole them like that, if that makes sense. I have marbles in my mouth now. It's Christmas Eve, everyone. Merry Christmas. But this is the song Nothing Natural, which is a song that really fucking did a lot for me at the time. A band called The Monks, Drugs in My Pocket. I've talked about The Monks before. Nobody cares about The Monks. I love The Monks. This is Drugs in My Pocket. The big song, I think, everywhere else was Nice Face, Nice Legs, Shame About Your Face. Which is right here, oddly enough. I forgot. The Monks, Nice Legs, Shame About Your Face. What a line. 3 more, and we're done for this part 1. Another Australian band, Mental as Anything, a song called Live It Up, which I heard in, I went to go see Crocodile Dundee in the movie theater. And I'm not going to do That's Not a Knife, like everyone does. But the song Live It Up by Mental as Anything was a very prominently played in that movie. And I love Mental as Anything. I'll save this one for last. Moth the Hoople, All the Young Dudes. Of course, written by David Bowie. And the last one for part 1 is from an album I've talked a lot about called Head. God, we're going to do an hour. Fuck. Sorry, everyone. This is an important video for me. Very important personally. If you have any respect for me, just please let me just babble on for an hour about my favorite singles. Because you know what? In a few years when I'm gone, my kids will watch this. My wife will watch this. Friends will watch this. And, you know, they're gonna get a smile. The Monkees, the Porpoise Song. Oh, there we go. From the album Head. The movie, when I first saw it when I was young, blew my fucking head off. And I think Head it's not bubblegum music. It's not their pop bubblegum stuff. It's a fantastic record if you've not heard it. But the Porpoise Song, I just adore that song. And that's it for part 1. Woo! Thank God, because my legs are asleep. Anyways, I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. I love you all. And I hope everyone is safe. Like I said, that COVID thing is still going around. There's a lot of wacky flus going around my part of the world. You know, people are getting sick and dying still. So I'm not Johnny come lately when I say, please be safe, everyone. Take precautions. I do care for you all. And thank you for watching my video for part 1 of 2 of the songs that defined my life. My life, anyways. And meant most to me. Take care, everyone. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone gets what they want for Christmas. And if you don't, just pretend you did. Love you all. Bye-bye. Peace.